We hear a lot about workforce issues and making sure that we have the workforce of the future to take advantage of the shale renaissance and to take advantage of the kinds of manufacturing that we need to be growing in the U.S. Walt, do you want to just talk a little bit about some of these workforce issues and where you see the changes in the workforce going where it needs to go, and how can public policy, if it needs to, be more engaged in making sure that we have the kind of workers we need to deepen this renaissance, both in shale gas production but in the manufacturing sector?
Certainly. Of course, we're builders, and to build, you have to have successful industries, and that requires the energy, the raw materials, and the production. And the production comes down to the labor force you're able to attract to your facilities to make sure that not only during their construction that they're built safe and quality and on time, but during their operation and their maintenance. Our responsibilities to the industry are really threefold. We recruit, we train, and we deliver that workforce. And that's really takes a community effort. It takes everybody involved to be able to feed the pipeline of creating good career opportunities for young people that makes them attractive to go into those areas, and also to give them the skills that they need to be safe and successful during that. We work with a variety of community partners, whether it's high schools, vocational schools, community colleges, and community groups to develop that pipeline into our training programs. And also we recruit heavily out of the military. We utilize helmets to hard hats, which brings back our veterans, gives them opportunity to have a career in construction. Very highly sought recruits because of their experience in the military, able to give them advanced standing because of their skill training that they received into the military. And I'm always fond of saying, as far as the iron workers, we say thank you for good jobs and careers for our returning veterans. But when you look at the requirements of the industry to have there, it has to attract good people to it. And that's where we all have to work together to ensure that that happens. We have first-class training curriculums to offer the young people. No cost to them as far as the training. They get to learn why they train. Basically, at the end of 4 years, when they become journeymen through the apprenticeship programs, which is one of the most effective transfer of skills and knowledges that has ever been developed in the history of the world. When we look at what they're able to bring to the table, come out of 4 years without debt, have very good careers that can sustain communities, sustain families, sustain local economies. But that, again, it takes every one of us working cooperatively to create the facilities needed to attract the individuals to it. And it comes down to having the safe, skilled workforce not only to build, but to operate and maintain those facilities and create profits for the company.
So we've talked a little bit about government getting out of the way of production. We've talked about workforce issues. This is kind of open to anybody to talk about some of these infrastructure issues. Do we have the right infrastructure to move product to market? And are there things that we ought to be doing there that we're not doing? Again, what's the role of the states? What's the role of the government? How are we going to build the right infrastructure to make sure that we're moving product most efficiently, not necessarily through export markets, but internally? So anybody want to chew on that for a minute?
Happy to. As the iron workers, infrastructure is a large component of the work that we do. We've been in the forefront for the last 25 years as far as stressing the need to improve the infrastructure in our country. But one of the side benefits as far as the expansion of manufacturing facilities is they have to have good infrastructure in order to get their goods to market. And that's a benefit to the communities that they locate in as far as expanding that infrastructure, allowing them to do exactly that.
And we don't.